The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a completely new obsession. I mean, imagine getting a wedding invitation, right? But instead of like a beautiful RSVP card on heavy cardstock, it's a digital link.
It's just a link.
Yeah, a link to a legally binding, iron-clad non-disclosure agreement. And it threatens you with serious consequences, like potential financial ruin if you so much as post a selfie.
Right, which completely shatters that traditional picture of, a joyous, open community gathering. We are looking at a scenario that's reportedly being orchestrated less like a celebration of love and more like a high-stakes military operation.
Totally. Welcome to Starscope Report. We uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Right, from red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are bringing you into the intensely scrutinized center of a massive media frenzy. I mean, we are doing a deep dive into the rumored wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
It is everywhere right now.
Literally everywhere. I've been staring at a massive stack of sources today, and it is wild. We've got standard pop culture gossip, municipal security logs, detailed legal breakdowns of contract law, and a viral YouTube commentary video titled "Sign This NDA or You're Banned from Taylor's Wedding."
Which is just a crazy headline. But the contrast in those materials is what makes this so compelling for you listening at home. You are bouncing between celebrity drama and the granular mechanical reality of municipal crowd control and legally binding gag orders.
Exactly. So our mission for you on this deep dive is to sift through all of that. We want to cut through the noise of alleged multi-million-dollar arena bookings to uncover a much deeper, frankly fascinating truth about how information, rumors, and privacy actually operate in our modern digital age.
Because it's changed completely.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the sheer jaw-dropping scale of what is being reported. Let me set the scene for you. The rumored date is July 3, 2026.
A huge holiday weekend.
Yep, and the venue, Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Which is insane. I mean, walking down the world's most famous arena for a full event isn't something you do quietly. Our sources point out that MSG currently has 0 events scheduled from June 29 to July 6.
Nothing at all.
Not a single thing. And a gap that large in their calendar is a massive red flag that something monumental is moving in.
And the cost alone is staggering. It's reportedly booked at the standard commercial rate of $1 million per night. So that is $3 million just to hold the venue for setup, the event itself, and the breakdown.
And that's just the empty room.
Exactly. When you look at luxury planners in our sources, they're estimating the full event could cost anywhere between $10 million and $20 million.
Wow.
Because you have to factor in the massive scale of production, like rigging lighting for an arena, floral installations that have to fill a stadium floor, and catering for over 1,000 people.
Which requires an absolute army of staff.
Yeah.
And every single one of those staff members represents a potential leak, which is why the security budget alone would likely rival a small municipality's police force.
Oh, for sure.
That budget aligns perfectly with the reported guest list, too, which is hovering between 1,100 and 1,200 people.
That's a lot of people to keep quiet. And the names being dropped are exactly who you would expect, right? Selena Gomez and Gigi Hadid are rumored to be bridesmaids. Suki Waterhouse actually confirmed she's attending. She told reporters it will be amazing.
Which is a bold move to confirm it.
Right. Benson Boone and Carly Kloss are reportedly in. There's even a bit of drama in the reports. Miles Teller and his wife Kelly were apparently left off the list due to some alleged falling out.
Always a little drama.
Naturally. But beyond the who's who, I am really hung up on the extreme physical privacy measures described here. Like, MSG has no windows. It features extensive underground parking. And there are reports of guests potentially arriving in these blacked-out buses.
Well, when you think about the mechanics of moving 1,200 high-profile individuals through Manhattan, a blacked-out bus convoy isn't just an aesthetic choice for privacy. It's about minimizing the surface area for security breach.
Makes sense.
You simply cannot have 1,000 black cars pulling up to the curb one by one. You need staging areas outside the city, coordinated police escorts, the works.
But here's what I don't get. If you have a venue that massive and guests arriving in these tactical convoys, how do you stop the 1,200 people inside from just live streaming the whole thing?
Right. Which brings us to the legal side.
Exactly. This brings us to that viral YouTube video title we saw. Sign this NDA or you're banned from Taylor's wedding. According to multiple entertainment outlets, These guests are allegedly receiving digital links to sign these agreements before they're even allowed to know the actual details of the event.
Yeah, and the reports emphasize that these agreements come with warnings of serious consequences for any leaks. It is literally a preemptive legal strike against the very guests they are inviting to celebrate with them.
I have to push back on this, though, because it sounds like trying to get top-secret government clearance just to eat a slice of wedding cake. It feels incredibly clinical. Like, does treating a wedding like a classified corporate merger completely ruin the vibe of a celebration of love? How do you even relax and have a glass of champagne when you're terrified a rogue Instagram story might get you sued?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you have to understand that at this level of fame, the vibe is entirely dependent on security.
I guess that's true.
The threat isn't just a tacky leaked photo, it's physical safety and massive public disruption. And that disruption isn't just a problem for the couple. Hosting an event of this magnitude on July 3rd in Midtown Manhattan is causing real-world anxiety.
Oh yeah, the city must be panicking.
We have an NYPD source in our materials who explicitly warned that this venue choice is a security nightmare.
Because you are basically dropping a bomb of celebrity logistics into the middle of the most chaotic week of the year.
New York City is already a pressure cooker on a normal day. But this is the July 4th holiday weekend. The city is hosting massive Independence Day celebrations. There's the Sail 250 maritime event bringing in tall ships and military vessels from around the world.
That's huge.
And on top of all that, there is a FIFA World Cup match happening right across the river at MetLife Stadium.
Okay, so the city's infrastructure is already stretched to its absolute breaking point. A security cordon around Madison Square Garden isn't just putting up a few velvet ropes.
No, not at all.
It means shutting down major arterial streets, rerouting public transit, and deploying hundreds of officers.
And local business owners around the arena are terrified for that exact reason. They're anticipating massive street closures and crowd management issues that could completely disrupt their holiday trade.
Which is usually their most profitable weekend.
Right. One business owner actually called the prospect a disaster and suggested businesses should be compensated if the wedding disrupts their operations.
Wow. And this actually highlights a massive contradiction in our sources.
Oh, definitely.
Because on one hand, we have this 20,000-seat arena, 1,200 guests, and a footprint so large it's literally stressing out the NYPD. But on the other hand, an insider source claims Taylor has been firm from the start that she wants an intimate wedding.
Intimate?
Right.
Yeah. She reportedly wants to look around the room and recognize every face. And specifically does not want to turn her wedding into a networking event or a power summit.
You cannot have an intimate, recognizable, faces-only gathering with 1,200 people in a commercial arena. Those two realities simply cannot coexist in the same space.
It's like renting out an entire theme park and claiming you just wanted a quiet picnic. It doesn't track mechanically.
Which is why some sources are floating a very compelling decoy theory.
Ooh, tell me about the decoy theory. But wait, real quick, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, and you do not want to miss where this is going.
Right. So what if Madison Square Garden isn't the real wedding at all?
Oh my gosh.
The theory suggests MSG might just be a massive reception. Like a party for the broader industry, the hundreds of acquaintances, the extended NFL and music world networks.
That makes so much sense.
While a much smaller, tightly controlled, actual ceremony happens somewhere completely different, completely off the radar, like a magician's misdirection.
Exactly.
Look at this giant, shiny $3 million arena over here, while the real magic happens quietly backstage. But how do you even pull that off? How do you secretly move 100 true VIPs through Manhattan without anyone noticing?
It requires extreme compartmentalization. You utilize underground tunnels like the famous secret train track under the Waldorf Astoria, or you stagger arrivals using decoy motorcades to draw the paparazzi away from the actual location.
Sneaky.
And there's a detail in the sources that supports the idea that the MSG event is something entirely different. Guests invited to the larger celebration were reportedly asked to donate to charity instead of bringing traditional wedding gifts.
Okay, while that is philanthropic, critics have really seized on the sheer scale of the MSG booking, labeling the event a PR stunt or calling it beyond trashy and an attention-grabbing spectacle.
The scale of the event invites that kind of intense scrutiny, fair or not, because it blurs the line between a personal milestone and a massive corporate event.
It's so harsh, though. And I want to shift the tone here because reading through these sources, you really start to feel the human element beneath all this logistics and criticism.
It's easy to forget they are real people.
Right. The leaks, the constant media speculation, the NYPD calling your life a nightmare has reportedly left Taylor feeling, quote, very vulnerable.
Understandably.
One insider described the whole situation as a monstrous headache. It's supposed to be this exciting, deeply personal chapter, and instead there are profound questions about who she can actually trust.
And you also have Travis Kelce in this mix. He is a massive public figure in his own right, but the sources note he's still having to adjust to the truly shocking reality of her high-security lifestyle.
A whole different level.
Exactly. He's used to playing in front of 70,000 fans, but navigating everyday life with advanced teams and constant surveillance is a completely different psychological burden.
When you view it through that lens of vulnerability, the idea of an NDA makes a lot more sense. It's not just corporate coldness. It's a desperate attempt to build a safe space. But how do these agreements actually work in a personal setting? We have this extensive legal source material on NDAs. How do romantic NDAs function compared to, like, a standard corporate contract?
Well, it's a fascinating legal niche. Romantic NDAs are actually quite common among high-net-worth individuals and celebrities.
Really?
Yeah, they often accompany prenuptial agreements or cohabitation agreements. Unlike a corporate NDA that protects trade secrets or financial data, these are designed to protect personal privacy.
Okay.
So they typically include incredibly strict clauses about social media posts, for example, preventing either party from sharing photos of each other or their family without explicit consent.
Wait, so you can't even post a casual selfie without running it by legal?
Pretty much.
That requires a complete rewiring of how most people interact with their phones.
It does, and they also frequently require both parties to notify each other immediately if they receive any contact from the press. And, perhaps most importantly, to make them effective, they often include clauses requiring individuals to account for any profits made from selling stories to the media. This is a mechanism called disgorgement.
Disgorgement. Okay, so if someone gets offered $50,000 by a tabloid for a wedding photo, and they take it, the contract dictates that they owe that $50,000 directly back to the couple.
Exactly. It completely removes the financial incentive to betray their trust.
That is brilliant.
But this raises an important question, though. The legal reality of enforcing these contracts is quite murky.
How so?
Legally, an NDA cannot cover information that is already public knowledge. So if a detail leaks elsewhere, you can't necessarily be sued for discussing it.
Okay, but what happens if someone just casually mentions the flavor of the wedding cake? Are they really going to get dragged into a courtroom?
Probably not. Courts generally don't like contracts that indefinitely silence people over trivial matters. These agreements are notoriously difficult to enforce if a judge deems the information a matter of public interest, or if the terms are simply too broad and restrictive.
So if they are legally flimsy, and you might not even win the lawsuit, why use them at all? Why risk alienating your friends by making them sign a legal threat?
Because often their primary function isn't to be a bulletproof legal shield. They exist to create a paper trail and to act as a massive psychological deterrent.
Ah, mind games.
Exactly. It establishes a clear boundary. It signals to the guest, we take this incredibly seriously. It's less about actually dragging a bridesmaid into court and more about making everyone hyper-aware of the stakes.
Okay, so we built this entire picture. The $20 million budget, the MSG fortress, the decoy theories, the ironclad, psychologically terrifying NDAs. But wait till you hear what came next, because here is where it gets really interesting.
This is my favorite part.
What if I told you that the central pillar of this entire global news cycle, the ironclad wedding NDA, might be completely 100% fake?
This is the plot twist that recontextualizes everything we've just analyzed.
It is wild. Our YouTube commentary source tracked the actual origin of this NDA rumor, and the entire narrative, which was picked up by major outlets worldwide, allegedly started because of a joke. A joke. Graham Norton, the famous talk show host, was on his podcast making a flippant comment. He joked about signing so many NDAs in his life that he couldn't speak.
He was making a general observation about the entertainment industry, not a factual report about a specific event.
Yet, American outlets apparently took the joke completely out of context. They ripped it from the podcast, applied it directly to the Swift-Kelce wedding, and suddenly they were treating this offhand comedic remark like a verified leak of Pentagon files.
It's incredible.
Fans ran with it, tabloids published it as fact, and the whole world believed that guests were signing their lives away to get an invite.
And the definitive counter-evidence came from the most reliable source possible. Travis Kelce's mother, Donna Kelce.
Yes.
TMZ ambushed her and asked her point blank if she had to sign an NDA for the wedding. Her response was a cool, flat no.
I love her.
And then she delivered this incredible quote, "They know I can keep a secret."
They know I can keep a secret. That single sentence completely dismantles the corporate narrative and replaces it with something much more human.
Right.
But it makes you realize that in the absence of actual facts, the media algorithm will literally weaponize a joke just to keep the content machine running.
That is the mechanical reality of the modern media echo chamber. Digital publications are financially incentivized by clicks to aggregate unverified quotes. It is actually more profitable for a tabloid to publish a sensational rumor today and then publish the debunking of that rumor tomorrow than it is to verify the information in the first place.
So the truth doesn't matter, only the engagement does.
Exactly. The profound takeaway for you listening right now is that the absence of an NDA doesn't mean there isn't extreme privacy. It means that at the highest levels of fame, trust is the actual contract.
Wow.
You don't need a lawyer in the room when your inner circle is truly tight.
But the media couldn't accept that silence. They had to fill the void.
When the most public couple in America chooses to say absolutely nothing about their future, the media simply invents the noise. The rumor of the NDA actually became the protective wall.
That's crazy.
The media was so busy debating the ethics and logistics of these fake contracts that the couple's actual real-life planning remained hidden behind the chaos.
That is brilliant in a slightly terrifying way. The fake news acted as a smokescreen for the real news. It makes you really have to stop and think about how often the facts we read, the things that trend worldwide and get debated on television, are actually just an echo chamber built on an unverified joke.
It happens all the time.
We thought we were looking through a clear window at a high-security wedding, but we were really just looking into a funhouse mirror, staring at the media's own distorted reflection of what they think fame looks like. We're so desperate for information, so hungry for a peek behind the curtain, that we will accept a manufactured reality if it feels plausible.
It raises a profound societal question. In our modern digital era where every moment of silence is immediately monetized and filled with manufactured narratives by the press, is true privacy for global icons even possible anymore?
I honestly don't know.
Or have we reached a point where a celebrity's actual lived reality is entirely separate from the profitable, fictionalized version of their life that is being lived out in the headlines? If the media is going to invent an NDA, invent a venue, and invent a guest list, at what point does the celebrity just let the fiction run its course so they can quietly live their real lives in the shadows?
That is a fascinating thought to leave on. We started this deep dive looking at a wedding orchestrated like a military operation, and we ended up uncovering a masterclass in how silence can be the most powerful weapon of all. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.